Nisargadatta Maharaj, Nothing is Everything, November 28, 1979. Nothing exists but appears to exist. Maharaj, I am not the body which is only food essence. I am not the consciousness which is the food quality, which is the quality of food essence. One has to proceed this way. Then who am I? You are not that which is known, but you are the knower. Maharaj is giving the method of meditation. The meditation you have to understand, or you have to inform or indoctrinate the mind that you are not this I am principle which is appearing in you is not the body, but it is separate from the body. The body is only the food essence. The body is made of Panchikruta Mahabhutas, which again are made through food. Hence it is called as the food body. The I am principle, which is the immanent principle from the Absolute, is not the food body, but a very superior principle to that. Now, I am not the consciousness. The consciousness is which is the quality of the food essence. We discussed already that there are two consciousness, two principles of I am in this one. One is the transactional Atman called the Chidabhasa, which is there, which is created by a layer on the Antakarana. That layer which is created on the Antakarana is due to the food that is taken for the physical body and converted from Sthula to Sushma and then deposited on the Antakarana. Hence, this is called as the I am principle of Chidabhasa. The original principle of I am, which is immanent and is expressed by the Absolute, also is there. So, both these principles of I am are not true. That is, they don't have a capacity of their own to express unless enlivened by Chaitanya. If Chaitanya does not enliven it, they do not know that they are. But Chaitanya always enlivens everything in the universe without any fear or favor. Hence, everything which can receive Chaitanya and reciprocate will always get the Chaitanya, and hence they can say I am. But they are not real. That is what he is explaining. So, your real quality is not the I am principle, but the I am principle. There is something superior to the I am principle, which is the Absolute. So, in this way, if you proceed, then you will understand slowly in meditation that you are you are not that body or the I am principle. Then the visitor is asking, who am I? You are not that which is known, but you are the knower. In this universal manifestation, all knowers are pseudo. They appear as knower because it is the material which is knowing and then enlivened by Chaitanya. This happens, as we discussed already, in three places. One is the Prityagatman. The second one is the Chidabhasa. The third one is the thought, which is in the subtle realm. The thought in the subtle realm also has got what is called as Aham Vritti, which is enlivened by Chaitanya, it is says I know. So these are the three places there the knowing takes place of the existence or information, and they behave as if they are the knower. Here the knower is the material, whereas the Absolute has no concept of material, and it is the only knower. Or we can't call it knower, we can call it as a knowing principle. It is a knowing principle and not a knower, because there is no one there as such. There is a knowing principle which knows everything in the existence, which enlivens everything in the existence, which knows everything in the existence. So in the totality of universal existence, there is no knower, but apart from the Pratibimba Tattva, only the Bimba Tattva or the original one knows, is the knower. Visitor. What is the cause of ignorance? It is because of Maya, the illusion. Because of that, there is a kind of stupefaction and obscuration of the intellect. The use of words is for a better understanding. In meditation, there are no words, but only understanding. What does an advanced seeker find? Visitor asks. Maharaj, he knows that he is neither Maya nor Brahman. Now, for the question to find out what ignorance is, Maharaj is answering that it is due to a primary illusion called created by Maya. What is this primary illusion created by Maya? And the Maya or the primary illusion is nothing but that I am principle, which is nothing but matter, but when enlivened by Chaitanya, it expresses that it knows. It says I am. So a matter saying I am itself is an illusory method of expressing, because it is not the original principle. And now this matter starts manifesting into innumerable varieties, because all the varieties of existent things is made out of matter, and that when it percolates down in through its method of manifestation, through apanchīkrita mahabhutas and panchīkrita mahabhutas, the whole world appears. Hence, whatever that appears, some of them are sentient because they are made out of apanchīkrita mahabhutas, and they believe that they are sentient. The sentience in them is due to the blessing of the primordial matter's manifesting method plus the Chaitanya that is enlivening it. So none of it is again in all the manifested beings, including sentient beings in manifestation, none of them are really sentient, but appear as if sentient, because the Absolute is enlivening them. So when this particular thing happens, we discussed already that a thing called Ahankara appears in this particular one, and that is what is called as the stupefaction and obscuration of intellect. This Ahankara, which is not part and parcel of the manifestation, happens in the growth of the Upadhi. Upadhi means a combination of Sthula, Sushma and Karana Shariras, that is gross body, subtle body and causal body. The three put together is called as the Upadhi. So, the Upadhi's growth, this starts happening when the I am principle gets understanding or a misunderstanding that it is only the body. So this is to be clearly understood that the Ahankara is the cause for the illusion. Then after, what does the advanced seeker find means? What is Maharaj is telling, he knows that he is neither Maya nor Brahma. Advanced seeker is one who has realized. Once he understands that he is realized, he understands that he is not Maya. Here Maya means the manifested three-body principle, or Brahman. Here Brahman means this particular immanent principle, which we call as the Pratyagatma. The Pratyagatma, he knows he is neither the Pratyagatma, the immanent principle, nor its manifestation, which is the three-body principle. Of course, he knows that he is not the world, so even the world also is made by the same material called the, which is appearing as the Pratyagatma here, but he is not confused with the world. Only the seeker is confused with his body and mind, and this he will know that he is neither the body nor the Antakarana, and also he is not that principle which is appearing as the body and the mind. This clarity will come. This clarity will come only when the realization of the Absolute takes place. Visitor. Does a jnani suffer to see the death of tree or of any living being? Maharaj, you suffer because your existence is restricted to your body. A jnani is infinite and boundless, hence there is no pain. In the ocean, there are billions of this, but the ocean is unaffected. Now, the death of, in the manifested universe, there is birth and death. This is a regular process. Now, what is the, how do they affect a jnani? That is the question. Now, Maharaj has answered it in a very subtle way and saying that you suffer because your existence is restricted to your body. When you think that you are only the body, that is, you have created Ahankara, then along with it, you create a sense of mind. Once you create a sense of mind, which is there to, that sense of mind is created to protect this bodily existence. So you expect those things which you have gathered around you, either sentient or insentient objects, which we call them as mind, because you expect them to protect you as a body. Now, if anything happens to the mama or mind, then you are affected and it brings in sorrow or happiness, whatever way, depending on what happens to that mind. You are not worried about what happens to the totality of the universal existence or what is happening in the world for all the sentient and insentient bodies. Only a plant in your garden dies, you are worried. Somebody known to you dies, you are worried. But you are not worried about the death of anybody and everybody in the whole existence. So this should be very clearly understood that this is happening because you have identified with the body and created a mama and or mind in which you are moving. That is your world. In your world something goes wrong, then only you are worried. Whereas a jnani is infinite and boundless. That means jnani has one who has moved to the ayam principle, and the ayam principle is the universal manifesting principle, and it is impersonal consciousness. In that there is no attachment to the body in which it is staying. There is no attachment. It is only made the body and enlivening it, and it is not worried or thinking what is happening to the body which it has made and enlivening, even though it is immanent in that. Because it is a universal principle not an individual principle. Further, it really cannot know what the body is thinking or its present state exactly, and because it has nothing, not called what is called as mind, through which knowing takes place of individual details. It is a impersonal consciousness where it has the capacity to know by in-seeing. So when it says it is in-sees, it understands the totality of the function of the body. Beyond that, it is not very interested in what exactly it is doing. So for the one who has stabilized in the Atman, there is nothing called pain or happiness. What the state is that of bliss, in which he is happy for eternally. In the ocean, there are billions of waves, but the ocean is unaffected. Like that, this upadhi, which this Atman is there, is enlivening innumerable number of actions either in the body or thoughts in the mind, and all these are compared to the waves of a ocean. But the ocean is unaffected, means the one that made these waves is nothing but the Atman, which is the manifesting principle of the body and the mind, and it is unaffected by what happens in the body and mind. And also, when the body and mind perceives something in the world, also it is not affected. First, the body and mind put together has to perceive something in the world. Well, that sensation has to come to the body and the mind, and body and mind gets affected. But the Atman is not affected because it is impersonal consciousness. Visitor. My suffering is because I feel oneness with the living form when it is dying. Maharaj, to overcome that, you must know the self as unlimited. Visitor. Can we say that the living beings have no existence? Maharaj, nothing exists. Everything appears to exist. The existence is like sunlight. It vanishes but does not die. Things appear and disappear. There is no destruction. Hence, a jnani is not troubled by events. Now, the visitor is saying that he is suffering. When he feels oneness with the living form, when it is dying. Now, this question of death is when he feels oneness. With how many items he is feeling oneness? Only with mama or mind. With that only he is feeling unhappy. Whereas in the universe, say in a 1,000 crore population, saying that if they live for 100 years, so every year on this earth, 10 crore people die. That is the average, or something more or something less. Now, how many? So, per day about 3 lakh people die. So, how many people do you know in this? And are you worried about the death of all the 3 lakh people who are dying every day on this planet Earth? No. Only when somebody known to you dies, then you feel worried. The worry is not because that you are is dead, but because you are not able to continue your association with the dead being, dead person. That is why you get unhappy. So, there is no reality to that. The only thing is you have to understand that birth and death are natural, and you are provided a chance to get associated with it as long as it is alive. So, if this is clearly understood, the death cannot bring any unhappiness to you. Unless you accept death as natural as birth, you will not come out of this problem of grieving over the death. So, Maharaj is telling that to overcome that, you must know the self as unlimited. The self is the manifesting principle which is appearing as life in the total planet or in the total universe. So life is the expression of self, both sentient and insentient. Even insentient have got life, but they cannot express it. That is all the difference. Whereas in the sentient, it can express that it exists. Whereas insentient also is the expression of life only, but it cannot express that it is there. Otherwise, both the sentient and insentient are having the same material called the self or Atman. So if you understand that, then there is nothing to get worried or excited about. Then Vishnu is telling, can we say that the living beings have no existence? This is a confusing question, because how can there be no existence in living beings? They are existent. As long as they appear, they are existent. They are not there at some point of time. They are there during the course of time, and then they disappear after death. So Maharaj is telling, nothing exists, everything appears to exist. The existence is like sunlight, it vanishes but does not die. Things appear and disappear, there is no destruction. And so Jnani is not troubled by events. So Maharaj is telling nothing exists, everything appears to exist. Existence, the principle of Atman, manifesting principle, appears as anything and everything in the universe. It does not undergo any modification in the appearance, but appears. Suppose you take a glass, a tumbler with some ice in that, above that some water, and somehow are able to accommodate some steam also in the same tumbler on top of water. Now, the tumbler comprises of a glass tumbler. You can see from outside water, first below ice, then above water, then steam. When all the three are seen, what exactly do you say is the difference between the three? Is nothing but ice appearing as water or water appearing as ice, or steam is the appearing as water and ice. Hence, it is only a change in form, but the substance being same. Now, what is the real substance for the either water or ice or steam? Is none of them. The real substance which is appearing as these three is different. These three are forms, and one that is appearing as either ice or water or steam is what we call as the combination of two gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Now, if we go further down, where from the hydrogen and oxygen are coming? So, if you start going back, about finding out where from they are coming, ultimately you have to go to the basic substratum, which is called as the Atman, which alone is appearing as hydrogen and oxygen, which in turn in a particular combination becomes ice, and when form changes it is called as water, and when form is further changed it is called as the steam. Hence, it is only a change of form and not the basic change in the substratum. The substratum always remains same, and if this is understood, there is nothing that exists, because all that existence is nothing but the appearance of the same principle, which is in its glory, in its capacity to appear as anything and everything in the universe, as if real, the reality of this appearance is imparted to that by the absolute touching that material. And the absolute touches the material, it appears as real, because the absolute is real. So whatever it touches imparts reality. That is why the world appears as totally real and the sentient objects appear as if they are real, because the absolute is enlivening them through Chaitanya. So this should be clearly understood, that everything appears to exist. The whole universe, insentient objects appear to exist because you are the one who is enlivening them directly through, because you are the sentient object and the sentience in you is enlivened by the absolute directly, which appears as real. That is why even your dream appears real as long as it is going on, because in dream, the dream objects are enlivened by you, because you are enlivened in dream also by the absolute. So the Maharaj is further explaining the existence is like sunlight. It vanishes but does not die. That is, when the earth turns round, the sunlight does not fall on that, but nothing happens to the sunlight. Like in the same way, things appear and disappear. Things means both sentient and insentient. They are not destructed because they have got what is called as a change of state. The sentient body, physical bodies are made by the Panchikuta Mahabhutas or the gross elements, and after the destruction of this body, they are pulled back into the Panchikuta Mahabhutas. So nothing is ever created or destroyed. Jnani is not troubled by events. So the Jnani knows that nothing is really happening, but they are appearing in space and time as if they are happening. And he also knows that all happenings have no value, but it is only a play in consciousness. The play in consciousness is the whole universe, is a play. So we suffer because of our misunderstanding. That is what the visitor says. Maharaj, take the case of two neighboring villages. The people in the two villages might have business and other activities, but does one village know the other village? Does Pune know Mumbai? Does Pune know the town of Ahmednagar, which is next to it? The names Maya, Brahman, Parabrahman are like Pune, Mumbai, etc. What applies to Mumbai, Pune also applies to Brahman, Maya, etc. The people of Mumbai may fight with those of Pune, but has Mumbai done anything good or bad to Pune? Just as the cities like Mumbai, Pune do not do anything but people make a living. Parabrahman does not do anything but everything happens in its presence. In Mumbai, there is a temple called Mumba Devi. People have made the idol. When worshipped, the goddess gives what is desired. Similarly, in every village, there are temples constructed by people, and the gods are named after the villages. Mumba Devi means goddess Devi of Mumbai. Parabrahman is the complete, it is formless, hence bodiless, and has no limbs. It has no expectations from you. It does not need to please you. Now here Maharaj is explaining that you take any upathi, its substratum is the Atman or the immanent principle or the consciousness. And the consciousness alone has manifested as the three-body principle, and it is functioning in the world. It functions in its own way by receiving information through the Jnanendriyas and acting in the world through the Karmendriyas. Jnanendriyas are the five. and the karmendriyas are the 5. There is organs of perception and organs of action. Now, the Atman is not connected or concerned about what this upadhi is doing. It has already made the upadhi in such a way and built certain capabilities into the upadhi, and these capabilities help the upadhi to survive and receive information and act on the information. What information it can receive is limited because it depends on the construction of the upadhi, and also what actions it can do are limited. Within this limitation, the upadhi operates, and Atman knows the upadhi is operating, and it is in sound condition, health-wise it is running okay. So there is no difficulty for the Atman to continue to exist because the body is available for it, and it knows that the body is performing the intended duty by it. But it is not actually interested in the actual actions that the body is doing, or the actual information the body and mind are collecting. Once this is understood, the same principle is happening on all the sentient bodies, and all sentient bodies are acting in the world. Also, they are acting with other sentient bodies. So, what one sentient body acts with other sentient body, what information it tracks, it transacts with the other body, and what information it gains or distributes, the Atman is just not connected or concerned. The same Atman is operating in all upadhis. There are no two different types of Atmans. So that is what Maharaj is explaining by giving the example of Mumbai and Pune. Like that, all these are at the relative level, things happen, but at the level of the Atman is not at all connected. And the Parabrahman, which is a superior principle compared to the immanent Atman, which is the Bimba Tattva, or the original source, is only making the whole universal play possible, and he is not connected with any local individual body-mind, because the local individual body-mind is purely taken care by the immanent principle, and that is the highest principle beyond which there is no requirement for this body-mind principle to go. Anything and everything required for this body-mind principle is provided only by the immanent principle, and it is not connected to the absolute, except that the absolute lives it through Chaitanya, and knowing in this upadhi takes place directly because of the Chaitanya that it is receiving from the absolute, that is Parabrahman. So, Parabrahman is complete, it is formless, hence bodiless, and has no limbs. It has no expectations from you, does not need to please you, and the most important thing is that it does not know that you exist as a body-mind, but it knows that you are, is a manifested body-mind, and it enlivens it. Now the questioner is, Mr. is coming with the question, how can I realize the Parabrahman in me? Maharaj is telling, for that you must learn to remain in the bodiless state. With your body identity, there is no chance of realization even after innumerable births. The body identity will remain till the end. Always remember that your existence is independent of your body, and I am pointing out the same to you. All depends on your faith. So, the question of realization has come now for discussion, and Maharaj is confirming that you must learn to remain in bodiless state. What is meant by remaining in the bodiless state? The body is there. The body was brought in by the Atman for having an interaction with the world. And mind is there to receive information and to act through that information on the body for interaction with the world. Now the body mind are tools in the hand of the Atman, and these two are required to perform as and when required. They are not required to perform forever in the world. So when the body mind operate in the world, they operate when required. That normally is the case with the body. It does work only when required, as guided by the mind. But mind has got a problem of continuously thinking. This continuous thinking in the mind, even though not required, even though does not serve any purpose of interaction with the world, it happens continuously because of what is called as ahankara, which is deciding now in the antakarana as a jada vritti. It wants to express itself all the time, because unless it expresses, its existence is doubtful. Only when it is enlivened by in the vritti through Chaitanya, then only its existence is confirmed. So it goes on pumping in unwanted information from inside and comes out every time as a I thought. So as long as this is there, the mind is never quiet. As long as the mind is active, the body is forced to be active. Only mind is quiet, body is quiet. So when these two become quiet, the Atman, the immanent principle, which is the state of I am, is realized. And you know that you are the Atman. And when the experience of the Atman comes, the body experience disappears. Because body experience is due to the mind and thought. If thought is totally stilled, body is not experienced. And Atman appears only when mind is totally, mind means the thought. The thought is totally stilled. So this is what Maharaj is explaining, that you must learn to remain in the bodiless state. That means you have to move to Atman and stay put as the Atman. Pure body identity, there is no chance of realization even after innumerable births. As long as the mind and body go together and identification with the body goes, that is when the ahankara is operating as I am only the body principle, there is no chance of realization after innumerable births. That is what is confirming. The body identity will remain till the end, as long as, because the ahankara continues to be there up to the end, the body identity continues. Always remember that your existence is independent of your body identity, and I am pointing out the same to you. Now, in this manifestation, which is for the running of the upasi, as we discussed already, only the existence as enlivened by Chaitanya has some validity. That is why the I am principle has validity. The Chidabhasa, which is directly enlivened by Chaitanya, which is the existence principle, has validity, and the Ahamvritti, the thought has validity, because thought is to be known. Whereas the Ahankara has no validity, because it is unreal and it is Jadavritti. Having this is understood, that the existence is independent. The existence is the Atman, either in the Chidabhasa or in the immanent principle, and it is independent of body. The existence is self-effulgent and does not depend on the body for its existence. And I am pointing out the same to you. So you should understand that you exist as existence and not as existent. The existent is the body-mind complex. The existence is the Atman, which is formless. This is experienced especially in Sushupti or in deep sleep state, where you are not aware of any body or no thoughts come in that state, but you are there. You may not be knowing that you are there, but when you come out of Sushupti, you will make statements that I slept very well. I am happy that I got very good sleep. The Sushupti is for a longer duration. Then the deep sleep period gives you total relaxation and you feel immensely happy. So you confirm your existence even in the deep sleep state, but without any thoughts and without any body identification. That itself shows that you exist in all the three states, waking, dream and deep sleep states, whereas the body identification is there only in the waking state and with thoughts, and in the dream state thoughts are alone or there without body identification, and in deep sleep state you exist without any body identification or thoughts. This is a clear-cut indication that you are not the body nor the mind. Once this is understood with clarity, you will be able to drop them without any worry that something will happen to you. And body and mind, there is nothing wrong with them because they are part of the manifestation. The only thing that is causing unnecessary activity in these two is the ahankara, which believes in confirming its own existence. So that is what is to be avoided. Vishnu is telling, I have full faith in you. Maharaj, your present experience of being is like sickness. I did exist without this beingness. All my activities are not to enjoy this sickness, to make it tolerable. Even deep sleep is a medicine for this illness. My true self is without this sickness. So Maharaj is again explaining that this body, the three body principle, or the three body principle are called as upadhi, are called as the limiting adjunct. All these things mean same. It is the cause for the sickness. So this sickness is because of the attachment to the physical body. There is nothing wrong as such with the physical body, but the sickness is due to the attachment to the physical body. So once this is understood that this physical body is part of manifestation and it has come for a purpose and it is doing the purpose, there is nothing wrong with it. It is the serving a purpose of the absolute in the universal manifestation. But the I am principle, mankind got stuck with it, and that is how such a sickness has arisen. So the sickness has to be corrected by detaching the I am principle from the body. We have to delink it. Once the delinking takes place, it comes back to the normal state. The linking has happened because of an error. That error has to be understood and has to be eliminated. So Maharaj is telling, I did exist without this beingness. That is, he has moved to the level of the Atman and is stabilized in the Atman. So whatever now he is doing, all my activities are not to enjoy this sickness, but to make it tolerable. So he is in the world, operating in the world, uses the body-mind. And he knows that the body is there and body's vagaries like happy situations and unhappy situations, and mind's vagaries like also are known, but he does not bother about them, but he sees that they are made tolerable, because body may create pain, some trouble, but all it has to be done is, it is to be made tolerable and not get over anxious over their condition. Where he always compares it with the deep sleep, where this body and mind are not experienced. So the true self, which is without the body and mind, is without the sickness of the body, and mind, whereas body and mind which appear in the manifestation, when they are operating in the manifested world, have some activity to do. But a jnani who knows that he is not the body and the mind, and also who knows that he is not even that I am principle, but something much superior to that, that is the absolute, the final principle, is not at all worried or bothered about what the body and mind are performing, because he knows they are not, he is not the body and the mind. His true nature is the absolute. But as operating principle, I am is the present operating principle in this upadhi. Visitor, hundreds must have been benefited from your teaching. Maharaj, I have put in great effort and energy in imparting this knowledge to many, but do not ask me what they are doing with it. Visitor, please explain. They are busy with their mundane affairs. What else can they do? In order to benefit, one must be fit first. It is not possible to teach everyone from A, B, C. Our form and identity is changing every moment. From childhood to old age, so many stages came and passed by. This old body is also going to drop. Why worry about that which is changing all the time? When you yourself are changing all the time, what you learn or possess, how will all that remain with you? So here Maharaj says that he has imparted this knowledge to so many, but people come just to listen and then go without really understanding what he is teaching. And he cannot explain to everybody from A, B, C, because learning the information and then stabilizing in that information takes time. Learning information from the grassroots level takes a lot of time, and somebody has to be really interested. To catch hold of a teacher, go to him, sit with him and read, learn from him, from the ABC, and then go into the higher learning and stabilize. As Maharaj says, it is not possible for him to teach everybody to ABC from the grassroots level. So he is again confirming that the problem is the body identity. You should understand that the body is not same. What is there in the childhood is not there in the youth. What is there in the youth is not there in the middle ages, and what is in the middle ages is not there in the old age. It is constantly changing. So, in all these changes, one day after the body will drop away. Then, why worry about that which is changing all the time? Why do you want to get attached to that? You are thinking that your existence is only due to the body, and without physical body, you are nowhere. So, always that fear of death is haunting you. So he says the death is unreal, you are never born, you are never die, because you are that immanent principle which is running this upadhi, and that immanent principle, when it becomes even dormant, you are the absolute. When the immanent principle has been made active and made this upadhi under the guidance of the absolute, it is the absolute which is making this particular thing happen. So, but absolute is called as akarta, as a non-doer, because in its presence everything happens. Yes, and he does not do anything. He only enlivens the totality of the universe, and everything happens in the spit or the vomit, Mahatattva, with Ishvara as its Lord, everything happens. Whereas the absolute is unconnected. It enlivens the totality of universal existence. That is how the whole drama goes. So once this is understood, that you are neither the body nor the mind, and not even the principle I am, which is making these things and running it, but you are the absolute. There is nothing for you to worry about and feel bad. So this particular idea of manifestation and who you are and what is that is causing trouble in your body mind, the ahankara, has to be understood, and the ahankara needs elimination, without which nothing is going to happen. There will not be any progress as long as the ahankara exists. But it should be understood that ahankara is not a real entity, it is a false entity because it is a jada vritti. With this, we conclude this topic.